this shit was crazy. This was really Tyrese's epic warrior moment where he just commits this ultimate feat of badassery. Like, really, nobody could kill that many zombies in close combat like that. Like, that is crazy. Even Rick describing it, he was just sitting there. I have no idea how. It's a goddamn miracle. Afterwards, Rick, of course, checks on Tyreese to see if he's okay, and he's really in a way better mental state. He says, you know what, my daughter's dead, but we're all dead. Like, this shit's horrible, you just gotta move on, you gotta keep going. Tyreese and Carol continue to date, and they're actually pretty cute together. When Herschel's 2 youngest daughters are killed and Andrea is attacked by one of the prisoners, Rick goes hard on this dude and just beats the fuck out of him, almost kills him with his bare hands, fucks up his hand in the process, and again Tyreese acts as kind of the voice of civilization, the voice of reason. Rick is in his kind of Rick-tator mode at this point. He's blurting out, totalities like you kill, you die, which Tyreese ends up telling him, you might want to rethink that. This immediately becomes a lot more prevalent as the other 2 prisoners other than Axel revolt. Dexter has acquired guns and weapons from the armory. They've got him pointed at Rick, telling him to get the fuck out of the prison. They're immediately attacked by a ton of zombies. And in the chaos, Rick shoots Dexter in the head, and Tyreese is the only one that sees him do it. Later on, Tyreese and Carol are laying around in the floor of the gym, kind of making out, and Michonne comes in trying to get a workout in. She instantly recognizes Tyreese from his season on the Falcons, and Tyreese is like, damn, somebody recognizes me. Carol kind of tries to get Tyreese to, come on, let's let Michonne, enjoy her weights. And Tyreese is like, oh, hold on, honey. So this is not going good in old Carol's world. Later on, Michonne approaches Tyreese in the gym again when he's playing basketball. She basically just walks right up to him and starts giving him a blowjob. He kind of tries to get her to stop, but not really at all. And Carol sees it happen through a grate. So she has just lost it now. She breaks down later when Tyreese and her are in bed together and tells him to get all of his shit out of her cell, which he does, and then she ends up slitting her wrists in front of her fucking kid. Rick goes to tell Tyreese what happened, and he comes in at the worst possible moment. Michonne has come in and made some more advances on Tyreese, and they start making out, and that's when Rick comes in the room. He starts berating Tyreese and basically flat out blaming him for Carol's death if she's dead, and saying it's all his fault. They just start arguing back and forth. It's just, fuck you, fuck you. Again, we had a version of this in the TV show, but it was a lot different and a lot shorter of a fight, and Tyreese slams Rick against a wall just like he did with Daryl in the show. Tyreese is like, how the hell would I have known that would have happened? All I did was get a blowjob, and Rick will not stop. He is on him. He is just telling him over and over. He's like, it's your fault. You fucking killed her. So Tyreese just hauls off and punches Rick in the face, and they flat out break into a huge fight. This fight in the comics is very reminiscent to the fight in season 2 between Rick and Shane in 18 Miles Out. I think that's what they were going for, is this just best friend, like brothers, kind of turning on each other and duking it out, and it gets way too personal. Tyreese starts beating the shit out of Rick, and Rick ends up bringing up how he killed Chris, and Tyreese owns up to it immediately. He's like, he killed my daughter, and you know what? I enjoyed killing that kid. That's the only thing I've enjoyed since the zombie apocalypse started. He's like, I've ripped that kid into pieces. He's like, I had to carry the pieces out before anybody woke up so that they wouldn't see the horrors I performed on that fucking kid. But you know what? I'm not ashamed about it. And he brings up Dexter, the fact that Rick just shot Dexter in the face, and now they're just insulting each other. Like, Rick's trying to not look like a hypocrite in front of the group. Everybody's watching this shit go down. Tyreese is like, you know what? I think you enjoy fighting people. I think you enjoy killing people. You got the bloodlust. And Rick's just like, you know what? Fuck you, buddy, and starts dangling him over the rail, pushes him back against the rails, and starts yelling at him. Tyreese hits him back, and he's like, come on, kill me. You want to throw me off the rail? Kill me. And Rick's like, I'm not a killer. Tyreese hits him again, and Rick at this point is just done. He's had the shit kicked out of him. And so he passes out and falls over the railing, and Tyreese jumps flat off the fucking rail after him. I don't know what he was planning on doing, but it was kind of just an instinctive reaction. I do like that he jumped off the balcony after Rick. He falls down and fucks up his ankle, and Rick just flat out kicks him in the face. He's like, "Fuck you, you tried to kill me, you tried to throw me off the railing." And Tyreese is like, "You crazy fuck, you blacked out." Rick's like, "Blacked out? Bullshit." And they both just pass the fuck out onto the floor. They're like, "I can't even move, fuck this shit." Glenn is just like, "Jesus guys, holy fuck." Like, these dudes have beaten the ever-loving shit out of each other. It was a great fight, one of the most epic moments in the comics. I loved it. When Rick eventually wakes up, he finds that a committee has been formed, replacing him as leader. He's a part of it, Tyreese is a part of it, Herschel and Dale are all members. So they just basically make decisions together, and Rick's okay with this. When Rick, Michonne, and Glenn are captured by the governor and the Woodbury people, we see Tyreese taking up a leadership role back at the prison. He keeps night watches all night for Rick and the group. He ends up going out by himself in riot gear to try to find them, and helps fight back groups of zombies that are pushing down the fences to keep the group safe. We also see Tyreese talking a lot about how even though him and Rick had a lot of differences, that he still holds a high respect for him and considers him a friend. After Rick and them escape from Woodbury, there's a short time of peace in which Michonne and Tyreese basically get together. Carol's mental state since her attempted suicide has deteriorated and deteriorated. She tried to make out with Lori, she tried to make out with Rick, she tried to double marry both of them. She's just been crazy. She ends up feeding herself to a zombie in front of everyone, including Tyreese, who was playing basketball. This was a really dark and big moment in the comics. It was one of those deaths that affected a lot of the main characters really strongly. Later on, we hear Tyreese talking to Andrea about it. He had a girlfriend in high school who committed suicide, so this is a big thing in his life, and I mean, even his daughter and her boyfriend tried to do like a murder-suicide thing. So this is a theme that comes up a lot with Tyreese. He says that when someone commits suicide, it really just pisses him off. It makes him angry at the person who did it. And he says that Carol doesn't deserve his sorrow. Tyreese and Michonne remain close. They remain together. We see them having sex and making out and really enjoying each other's company. But after the things that Michonne went through with the governor, she's definitely got a lot of scars. She doesn't really want to define what they have as dating or anything. But they do definitely have a deep connection and a mutual respect for each other. After the governor attack on the prison, Michonne wants to go straight back after the Woodbury people, straight after the governor, and she just wants to go in with just her and Tyreese. This is not a great plan, but it is kind of badass. They just both suit up together, they get in the riot gear, and they go in just planning to take out a few more people, just really intimidate them, and get them to not come back. But I think Michonne really just wants another shot at the governor. She wants this motherfucker dead. So they come across one of his men taking a leak in the forest, and Michonne chops his face in half. They end up getting attacked by a bunch of the Woodbury soldiers, and Tyreese is taken. This leads us to the fateful issue number 46, where the cover is Tyreese knelt down with Michonne's katana at his throat. The governor brings Tyreese to the gates of the prison in his final attack. In the show, it was Herschel. In the comics, it was Tyreese. Honestly, I feel like it's a lot more of an impact when it's this warrior character that we've had as Rick's best friend, basically the second in command, the leader when he's not around, one of the best characters in the comic books. He is beaten down but not broken. His last words are telling Rick and the group not to let the governor in, not to surrender, and the governor ends up chopping his head off. He doesn't even get it in one or two swings. He just sits there hacking at it. The people in the prison are just looking at it in horror or looking away. A lot of them can't even look at it. And he ends up chopping his head off, and that is the end of Tyreese. We see Tyreese again as a reanimated zombie head that Michonne kills when she returns to the prison. We see her bring Tyreese up again later on in the series. He definitely made a big emotional impact on her. So that covers Tyrese's entire run through the Walking Dead comic book series. I really love him as a character, otherwise I wouldn't be doing such a long and in-depth video. Hope you guys sat through all of it. And now I'm going to go through the Tyreese special, the little 6-page mini issue, just as a little bonus to the end of the video. The Tyreese special shows Tyreese after the start of the zombie apocalypse protecting Julie and Chris. He's out looking for weapons, he finds a gun, and he's still a notoriously horrible shot. Like, Tyreese never becomes good at firearms, he's just entirely bad with them. So he's freaking out, he's surrounded by zombies, he throws the gun away, it's pretty much useless in his hands, and he opens up this tool case on the back of a truck. He's sorting through looking for something to use as a weapon, and he finds his legendary hammer. Takes out a ton of fucking zombies with it. He's like, you know what, I think you and I are gonna get along just fine. I love how this issue is basically all about him finding the hammer. He returns to the house that they're staying at, and Chris attacks him with a stupid little fucking thing, and he just catches it. He's like, hey, dumbass, zombies don't quietly unlock doors. We get a nice panel between him and his daughter, and then the issue ends with him talking about how the hammer is special, that it saved his life. So this wraps up my in-depth character spotlight for Tyreese from The Walking Dead. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. On my channel, I do a lot of review and recaps weekly for different shows like The Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, Black Sails, Arrow, The Flash, a lot of other shows, as well as comic book reviews, movie reviews, trailers, epic histories, character spotlights, all sorts of cool stuff like that. So if you like this video, make sure to check the channel out for more cool stuff. I'll put some links up in the annotations on the video, as well as in the description below. I want to thank all my subscribers so far for helping the channel get to where it is. If you've got any characters you want to see character spotlights for, leave it in the comment section below. Take it easy, guys.